Hello and thank you for joining us on Journalist Hangout on Sunday. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. Today on the program, NYSC issues certificates to core members kidnapped by bandits in Zamfara State, despite not serving their fatherland. Governor Dapo Abiodun breaks 21-year jinx, launches construction of 70-kilometer Abeokuta-Ota Lagos Road, assures residents of completion in 18 months. And later on the show, in the aftermath of local government autonomy, ICPC threatens defaulting states and government officials. Today, I will be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Adewale Adeoye. Gentlemen, good afternoon to you. Welcome to Journalist Hangout on Sunday.
Good afternoon, viewers.
Journalist Hangout starts now. Thank you very much for staying with us. It seems the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, wants to ensure that no corps member is made to suffer double jeopardy in the attempt to serve the country. As such, the NYSC has rolled out plans to issue certificates to corps members who could not be mobilized for the one-year national service over insecurity. Director General of NYSC, Brig Gen Yusha'u Ahmed, who announced the rescue of a corps member, Daniel Bassey, after a year-long ordeal in captivity, says is eligible for a certificate. Speaking in Abuja, Brigadier General Ahmed said all the corps members kidnapped on the 17th of August 2023 on their way to Sokoto from Akwa Ibom State for the orientation course would be issued certificate. Bassey is the last person to be rescued out of the 8 corps members abducted that day. Let's share the story by TVC News. Maya Mohammed with you.
The corps members were kidnapped on 17 August 2023 on Funtus Bissau Road in Zamfara State. While in Zamfara, the corps collaborated with Army, Police, DSS and traditional rulers to ensure the abducted corps members were rescued. At this briefing, the Director General of NYSC, Yusha'u Ahmed, commended the President, security agencies and traditional rulers for their efforts.
Even though they were taking the same time, the same day, the rescue take the following sequence. On the 30th of August 2023, we rescue the first prospective corps member, Esudwe Emmanuel. Victoria Bassey Oduka was rescued on the 20th October 2023. Abigail Peter Sandy was rescued on the 7th December 2023.
He called on corps members to avoid traveling at night and also reiterate that corps members' welfare is a priority of the scheme.
No group of people or organization aided the rescue of the prospective corps members apart from the security agencies, particularly the Army and the DSS. We in NYSC did not receive any form of aid or financial assistance while prosecuting their rescue.
Rescued corps members on their part narrated their experience and are happy to be back with their families.
It will be too traumatic for me to see, but all the same, I am thankful to God Almighty, the Army and the NYSC for my release.
We're kidnapped and it's been traumatic, but I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to our DG and also the Army.
G disclosed that the mastermind of the kidnap has been killed. Maria Mohammed, TVC News, Abuja.
Right, gentlemen, traumatic is the word. I mean, spending day and night with strangers and you're not sure of their next line of action. Ikeo.
Yes, I have to commend the security agencies, especially the DSS and the Army, for the successful rescue of these young boys and girls. I followed the story for quite some time because my friend is a spokesperson of the NYSC. We kept communicating, and I could feel from my conversations with the NYSC's outgoing spokesperson, Edwin, that they were not prepared to pay ransom. The kind of ransom that these boys demand for, sometimes you just have to tell yourself, as a government, that it's best to find a way to rescue them without succumbing to blackmail. And that's what the NYSC did. It was taking so long. You can imagine they were kidnapped in August. They were there for months. The last person that was rescued effectively spent about a year in captivity. So, but the NYSC was determined to not pay ransom, to seek other means of securing the release or rescue of the young boys and girls. And that's what happened in the end. So I believe that if we are determined, it is possible to call the bluff of these good-for-nothing bandits. You know, it is possible. Look at the one that happened just some hours back. The medical students from UNIJOS, 20 of them who were kidnapped on along Otukpo Enugu Road. Ransom was not paid, and they secured their release in a commando-like fashion. The army secured the release of those medical students. Drones were used, helicopters were used. They were able to pinpoint their exact location, and they exerted maximum force. They arrested some of the kidnappers right there inside the Ajide forest in Benue State. They arrested some of the kidnappers, they killed the rest. And those students were safely rescued. Not rescued in body bags. It also happened in the case of the Confluence University of Science and Technology, Lokoja, in Kogi State. That's the school is actually in Osara, in Adavi local government area of Kogi State. No ransom was paid. 2 of the students were killed, but the bandits were surrounded. Hunters were involved, the DSS was involved, the army was involved, the police was involved. They could not escape. They took them all the way from the forest of Osara to Kaba. You can see the distance. But once they saw that they were surrounded, they knew they could not go anywhere. They had to release the remaining students. 2 had been killed, and the 2 killed, we heard that those ones were even negotiating, their parents were negotiating individually with their captors. I wouldn't know if that was the case, but the point I'm making is it is possible to rescue these people without having to pay ransom, as it is the case. This ransom payment that is actually fueling this trade. I agree that sometimes you could be left with no choice, and nobody wants his relative killed in captivity, because people will now say you are insensitive, you didn't care. But the more we pay ransom, the more we equip these guys, because they will use the money to buy weapons in the black markets, and they will become stronger. And the more weapons they have as bandits, the more influential, the stronger they become. Even their own colleagues will fear them based on the armory at their disposal. So I believe that the NYSC did the right thing, and having spent so long in captivity, to tell them to go on fresh national service, having lost a year, would have been difficult.
Absolutely.
Those students, I mean, those young men and women may not even be psychologically primed to embark on another exercise like that. So I think the NYSC did the right thing, by simply issuing them with discharge certificate so that they can go and pick up the pieces of their lives.
All right. I tell you, this is good news. But also, these corps members have been advised against traveling at night.
Well, I think these incidents remains a major source of concern for many Nigerians. What these young men and women passed through. They were traveling from Akwa Ibom to Sokoto, and it's a distance of about 1,372 kilometers. It will take about 23 hours. I suspect that these students are probably from middle-class homes or from poor homes. If they are from Risho, probably they will have taken flight to Sokoto. Now, the unfortunate is that perhaps many of them are traveling for the first time out of their area, maybe going to that area for the first time in their life. And if you look at the original design of the NYSC, after the Civil War in 1973, the government wanted to integrate the country to reconciliation, reconstruction, and the objective was to foster national unity and cohesion, so that if you are born in Kwara State, you can go and serve in Maiduguri, as did my youth service in Calabar. And it was very interesting. The first few weeks you learn the rudiments of the language, the culture, and all that. So the unfortunate is that these people who are going to serve their country, and they were abducted. Right. So what you will see is that, most parents in future will be very careful in sending their children out of their base. I don't think people want, and if you see what's going on when people graduate from university, you want them to serve very close to your community because of the fear. So in one sense, the spirit of the NYSC, the founding dream, is being gradually defeated by insecurity. Because the country is shrinking. People want to go to primary school that is in their neighborhood, secondary school that is not far from their home, university that is just, in their own state. Nobody wants to travel any longer. So the spirit of integration of the country, ethnic integration, cultural integration, is going to suffer a major setback. All right. That is what I've what I've been able to see from this. But I also think that the students, they need psychological rehabilitation. They even need spiritual rehabilitation, because to see, be in a kind of den, people who don't understand their language, people who have never met before, the trauma they pass through, I'm sure they will not be able to tell us. However, I think I commend the speed we have seen in these past few weeks, that when people, it has happened in my community, that people are, kidnapped, and within 2 weeks, the security agents were able to, to ensure that they were, arrested. So I hope the government will do more to secure lives and property, because once you have insecurity all over the country, national integration will be very, very difficult to achieve.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.